All right.
Got the hat on. I've got my soup. I've got my drink. Vape, you hear? Okay, phone. Ryan?
Got my hand in my pants, and I'm ready to roll.
Woo!
Coulter?
I'm here. Let's go.
No sleeves, sun's out, guns out. It's 80 degrees today. This is the Shall We Football Podcast. I am Ryan. That is AJ. And Colt. AJ in the hat. Colt with the muscles and tattoos. It's a beautiful thing. Hello and good football to all on this podcast. We talk football and only football. So help us God.
So help us. This is the stepmother of all NFL draft previews.
Love that. Season 2, episode 9.
Yeah, and it's a classy what if draft preview.
I love the classiness of this podcast. It is really without question.
I think that's really our calling card. I think
it is class, etiquette.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. So coming up, we have the stepmother of all NFL draft previews. It's about important stuff. No Jags, no just another guys here. We get down to business to defeat the Huns. This ain't your mama's draft preview. It is. It's your stepmama's. So give it a chance and you might like it. Also, it's having sex with your dad.
Yep.
So we are diving into the shallow end of first round scenarios, looking like idiots, so you don't have to. Chivalry is truly not dead, gentlemen. Then,
from the brilliant mind of our fearless leader, Mr. Donovan.
Mm-hmm.
Then what we've all been waiting for, it's the pronunciation game with an oft-referenced special guest. He sucks at both spelling and pronunciation, so this should be delightful. We will get to the spelling issues that he has because there's a lot of them.
We've been pumping this up since week 1 of the 2020 NFL season.
Right, and it's been a slow build to
it's
this
time.
This
we asked our friends from the UK to pronounce some things on our previous podcasts.
This pales in comparison.
To bring it on home.
Yeah, there's a lot of momentum behind this.
That's right.
All right, gentlemen, for the elderly, let's review the big blockbuster trade.
Colt.
The 49ers got, I guess you would be, Colt. They got the number 3 pick from the Dolphins.
That's me.
The Dolphins got, among other things, the number 6 pick from the Eagles. And the Eagles, the dirtiest of birds, got the number 12 pick from the Miami Dolphins, among a handful of other treats. So let's begin.
I am so ready. I'm not really sure how this is going to go, so let's figure it out. Ooh.
What if Trevor Lawrence isn't the first overall pick?
I hope you've stocked up on your canned goods and non-perishables and lots of fresh drinking water because the apocalypse has arrived.
That's exactly my thought.
Yeah. It's got to be Wilson or Fields, right? I mean, could it be Penei Sewell if Lawrence isn't the pick? Kyle Pitts, number 1. Kyle Trask, number 1.
This was just for me to put something inflammatory here.
Yeah, it's gonna be the long-haired fella.
Grab some Tylenol because all we're trying to do is get you all ruffled up and inflamed.
Yeah.
All right. What if the hapless Jets finally find a franchise quarterback?
You know what? I think that's already happened. In the past, it's already happened, and that franchise is so dysfunctional that they've screwed it up.
Oh.
I'm not sure it's going to matter how good Zach Wilson or Justin Fields are in the green and white. That franchise is
mismanaged.
Yes. When it comes to quarterbacks and the way they are coached and the way they are developed and the talent they put around them, poor Sam Darnold, he could have probably been okay.
We will find out.
We will find out with what we hope is a competent head coach in Matt Rule, and who has proven to be a quarterback guru in Joe Brady, taking a third-string Joe Burrow down in LSU, turning him into a Heisman winner, number 1 overall pick, national champion.
Facts. Like a dirty diaper, the culture of the New York Jets definitely needs a change. What if Michael McCorkle Jones goes third to the 49ers?
I got to get my hand out of my pants. Things are going to happen.
I think he'll fit Shanahan's system great. I personally would love to see Fields with Shanahan. But that's all the talk is McCorkle.
That's all the fantasy football pundits are gabbing about. That's what we're talking at the water cooler.
The water cooler. Here's the thing. If that does happen and our sweet prince McCorkle goes 3 to the 49ers, how far does Justin Fields fall? He could get to Fields and or Lance could get to 8 with the Panthers. And then what did the Panthers do?
Right. So before we go there, what if my roommate didn't exclusively eat out of a Qdoba trough for every meal?
He loves that thing.
Big fan.
We really need a visualization of the trough itself. I know. Colt has seen it. We know what it is.
Look, lots of people have eaten at Qdoba. They know what that shit is served in.
Yeah,
just picture that. I should have done that. You know what? That's my bad. I'll rectify that at some point.
That thing is precious to him, man. It is precious.
Well, he has 2. At least in case one of his friends, for his own benefit, decides to throw one out, he has a backup.
Oh, gotta have a backup.
Eats. At least that handsome gentleman eats.
And he should eat well, as he is a fresh market employee as well.
That's true. That's true. He's he's a man of
culture,
high caliber grocery store.
Yeah,
he's definitely.
Hey, maybe I can teach him some plating.
Ooh, your plating is gorgeous.
Colt. Yeah, Colt. You can try that. That's fine if you want to.
Okay.
What if
Hey.
Drew Lock's stupid face gets no challenger from the Broncos' first rounder, which is number 9?
Doesn't that picture look a little bit like Conan O'Brien?
Yeah. Oh, man, that's a great shot. Throwing his hands up like, hey, what else can I do, guys?
Hey. I don't care if I throw an interception.
Yeah.
Hey, I barely understand what taxes are. What's going on, everybody?
I can't wait to do a Buzz Lightyear touchdown celebration dance, though.
You know what? I really think Lock. I really think the Broncos are going to be stuck with that guy for at least this year.
Kind of do too.
Because at 9, they're going to have to give up a lot to move into a quarterback-friendly draft position, especially with 1, 2, and now 3 locked into what we assume are going to be some combination of Lawrence, Wilson, Fields/Jones. That would leave Fields/Jones and Trey Lance. And I don't think both of those guys are going to make it to 9. They would have to trade up to get to either 6 or 7 with the Lions, or 4 with the Falcons, potentially 5 with the Bengals if the Bengals still think they can get their guy, either a pass catcher or an offensive tackle, at 9.
Here's the deal, guys, is that if Justin Fields ends up going number 3, it's a blessing for the Broncos. If Jones goes 3, I don't think Justin Fields makes it. Trey Lance is sort of an outlier here. I could see him falling. I've mocked him 7 to the Lions, a fair amount.
Yeah.
But if Jones is the pick at 3, I don't think there's any way that Justin Fields makes it to them. If Fields is the pick, I could absolutely see Mac Jones falling to them. Now, for the guys we're talking about all to go in there, in that range, would be unprecedented.
And it will be. I believe this is a year that you're going to see it happen. And I think that is a grand fallacy in the NFL right now, is taking a guy like a Mac Jones in the top 10 when he probably belongs at the end of the first round, beginning of the second in any other year.
In all our disdain for Drew and his irresponsibilities, do we think there's any way?
I see AJ's face right now. That was no slight. That was no slight against our man McCorkle. Guess who else? Guess who was a 3rd round pick? Russell.
No,
Wilson.
it was.
Guess who else was? Guess who was a 2nd round pick? Drew Brees.
Yeah, that I was talking about Drew Lock though.
Yeah.
If he can take another step, I mean, it says, what if he gets another chance or he gets no challenger? So
basically, yeah, he gets another chance.
Yeah, Colt is sticking to the question.
Is there any hope that he can do better? I believe
in Denver there is. I believe in Denver there is.
I don't. Not even a little.
I believe they're looking at the back half of last season where he was less terrible.
Yeah.
Not great, but less bad.
Mm-hmm.
Well, you know what? We'll know if Baker Mayfield can repeat the Josh Allen experience, in which after some years of, to one degree or another, average to just below average to just above average quarterback play, can turn into the stallion and become and become a franchise quarterback. I think Baker is extremely close, and for him to take the next step would then probably give a longer leash in the future, just as Josh Allen did.
Fair.
But those are some outliers. I think there's numbers to back that up. One that comes to mind is Jake Locker, and there's plenty, guys that suck in the beginning. Josh Rosen is another one. They just suck the whole time. But Josh Allen has set a precedent. Yep. I didn't have too many expectations, but being that Ryan graduated from the great university,
I also had low expectations for his professional career. He would have had to wind up in the perfect system, and he went to the Jets instead. I would never classify Drew Lock or say Drew Lock's name in the same breath as the Cleveland quarterback's name.
We're following him on Twitter now.
Of course we are. As well
we probably should have earlier. I don't know what I'm saying.
Yeah, he saw aliens, AJ. He saw aliens.
It's like a really good movie.
But no, I think Baker is exponentially better than Drew Lock. I don't think that's a fair comparison.
No, I agree. It's the jump that I'm talking about, because Baker is sitting on a platform where if he is able to take it to the next level, he could be reaching close to Josh Allen's stratosphere, maybe a little bit below that. If Drew Lock makes it to Baker Mayfield territory right now, that would be almost a similar jump in capability. That's more what I'm referring to.
That's right.
Those guys are not in the same realm, but I'm talking about improvement. You can if he improves to where Baker is right now, you could probably make Drew Lock work just as an old, rundown, heavily medicated Peyton Manning.
With plantar fasciitis or without?
Always with.
Oh, you have to put the plantar fasciitis in.
Okay.
We have to talk to Evan about his plantar fasciitis as well and see if he can spell fasciitis.
There's no chance. He had to look up porpoise tonight. What if there aren't any more trades in the top 10? So the Falcons keep their pick. The Lions keep their pick. The Broncos keep their pick. The Cowboys keep their pick. The Panthers keep their pick. I don't think there's a chance that anyone in the top 3, nor the Dolphins or the Bengals trade back. But there's a lot of quarterback swapping going on, or potential for it.
Carolina trading back unless they get a massive pick package, potentially from New England, or somebody like that who is enamored by a Trey Lance, or somebody if Jones is the pick at 3, somebody I could see Atlanta moving back for somebody to go get Fields. But if there are no more trades in the top 10, I think the Bengals' dream scenario is playing out to where they have an opportunity to select Penei Sewell. And I see Kyle Pitts destined for Miami at 6.
So this wasn't. I didn't address this later on, but the Bengals are going to be left with a decision between the second best player in the draft and the third best player in the draft. Very likely. And Kyle Pitts, you could put him either, 2, 3, or 4, but I'm talking about Jamar Chase and Penei Sewell. And I mean, normally I would say Penei Sewell, but Jamar Chase is one of the reasons for Joe Burrow.
Sure. Right. I agree.
Right.
My question is, do you think you're going to find another tackle like a Penei Sewell that you have control over for 5 years in the draft before you find another Jamar Chase with the way wide receivers are coming out nowadays? I think the answer is no.
I thought that for a while leading up to this, but I see the gap between Penei Sewell and the next offensive lineman as actually smaller than Jamar Chase and what may potentially come out even next year.
Okay.
With what he's done, I think we're thinking along the same lines.
Yeah.
I'm just starting to waffle on that wide receiver gap for Jamar Chase might be even bigger than the Penei Sewell gap.
You may be right. You very well may be right. And I think it's going to be whether the Bengals agree with you or the Bengals agree with me.
Mm-hmm.
I think the Bengals.
I don't think they go wrong either way. I really don't.
No. And I think they've made some serviceable offseason moves with the line that they could get by in passing on Sewell, taking that shot on Chase and then getting someone a little later on.
My question is, do you want to get by or do you want a guy that's going to be there for 10 years?
Right. Yeah.
So speaking of offensive linemen, what if – hold on with me here. What if –
I'm hanging on.
The Chargers decided to protect a quarterback, okay? Hang with me. And draft an offensive lineman. What if they don't this year? We've been building up to them finally drafting an offensive lineman for the first time since DJ fucking Fluker.
God love
DJ. What if they let us down? Now I don't even want to know who they would pick instead.
Yeah, why would they do that?
The last mock I listened to had them taking J.C. Horn at 13.
I've seen a lot of that. The line has actually improved significantly. Brian Bulaga healthy with some help on the interior.
Yeah.
Could be big. Corey Linsley is a massive get. They've got some help at guard. Still, I mean, none of that adds up to a left tackle.
It does not. If the Chargers don't take an offensive lineman in the first round, then tomorrow, as far as the draft goes, tomorrow will be Friday. The next day will be Saturday, and life will go on as usual because that's what the Chargers do: is ignore their quarterbacks
and lose football games in heartbreaking fashion.
because
they're really good at that.
Because they have the worst special teams unit in the NFL.
Yeah.
I love how bad their special teams are.
I love, sarcastically, how they believe so much in the running ability of their quarterbacks, or the escapability in where it applies to Phillip Rivers, who's really not that able-bodied, and definitely wasn't.
He can scamper.
He definitely wasn't towards the end, but I don't know if you take that as a vote of confidence in your quarterback, or an indictment of how much they care or do not care about their health. Look at Justin Herbert there. Look, look at the football just above his head. I'm sorry for the podcast, for the listening only audience, but there's a ball just in front of above Justin Herbert's face. He is back on the ground. He might be in a small amount of pain.
In a prostrate position.
Yeah, he looks relatively writhing.
Well, Ryan, he appears, he is a man, so he definitely has a prostate.
I knew.
Okay, gentlemen, what if my roommate didn't treat his colon like a TV dinner graveyard?
That might be the what if of the slideshow so far.
I'm kind of stumped. Yeah.
I think he would spend less time in the bathroom.
Yeah. I shall throw no stones because I too treat my colon like a TV dinner graveyard.
Yeah, but you have a lot of fresh cooked meals with a wide variety of ingredients.
That's fair. I do have multiple fresh ingredients. Like 2 days a week, I will give my insides the what ho. But the other 5 days, I usually do okay.
Oh, boy.
I don't feel great. Out of the closet.
Gentlemen, what if, give or take, all 5 top quarterbacks go in the top 10 picks?
It will be both stunning and entirely predictable, unfortunately.
So it stands to reason, and this might be generous, that not all 5 of these quarterbacks will have jobs in 2 years, at least as starting quarterbacks.
Percentage-wise, we're looking at 3 of them will be starters.
Now, I mean, by the numbers, yeah. Do we think this is a special class? I kind of do, because in many classes, Justin Fields would be QB1.
Clear cut, not even close.
And this is not from tape analysis. This is reputation alone.
Yeah.
What he has built in reputation, in most years, he's QB1.
Yeah.
So is Zach Wilson.
20 years ago, Mac Jones is.
20 years ago, Mac Jones is. And 10 years in the future, it's Trey Lance.
Yeah.
And then Trevor Lawrence.
I saw a graphic today of the quarterbacks drafted from 2016. That is merely 5 years ago. 2016 and before. A grand total of 0 of them are with their respective teams that drafted them.
Wow.
Oh, sad statement. Yeah, you hate to see it.
Yep.
Or you love to see it because it's giving us more to talk about.
Yeah, it's amazing the quarterback turnover in the NFL and the show me now nature of that position. Giving the reins of a billion-dollar franchise to a 22, 23-year-old kid. In Sam Darnold's case, he was 20 years old when he was drafted at USC, given the reins to a franchise that it is just completely out of control and expecting him to right the ship at 20 years old. What were you guys doing at 20 years old? Not running a billion-dollar franchise.
No,
I will not say what I was doing at 20 years old.
Neither will I. that they have so much heaped on them that it is completely understandable why so many of them burn out, flame out, and need to move somewhere else, like a Ryan Tannehill, to really find their footing in the NFL.
Big year coming up for RT. Big year. What if? Stay with me. Stay with me. What if the Bears don't draft an offensive player, and do not tell me that the world will continue to spin?
That answer's off the table. Colt, you go first. I gotta think.
Like dog scraps.
They don't draft an offensive player. That would just be sinful. They did franchise Allen Robinson, which is encouraging. They do have the Red Rifle, Andy Dalton, on deck as well.
Red Rocket me all day.
That being said, they don't have a lot more outside of that. I don't know why they would do that. Would I be surprised if they don't draft an offensive player? Not really. Where would they go? A linebacker? Who they take?
So, like the shell of that defense, the starting front seven is good. The safeties,
and they lost Fuller too.
Amos and Jackson. Yeah, cornerback is a place that could be upgraded. Definitely the depth in that front seven. You know, if you find a special starter, maybe you could get an upgrade somewhere. They're pretty solid, at least at the shell at the top of the line. But I mean,
are we only talking about the first round here?
We are only talking about the first round.
Okay.
I should be clear about that. Yeah, we're only talking about the first round here. No, they're not going to go down the whole draft. You know what? It's Matt Nagy. Who knows? Matt Nagy. It's Ryan Pace. What are you going to do?
We'll see what happens. If they don't draft an offensive player in the first round, I would say their fan base would start to question, but that's been happening since Ryan Pace got that job and since Matt Nagy took over as a head coach, which is unfortunate because I do think Matt Nagy can coach a little bit. But Ryan Pace has just completely hamstrung him with nothing. I don't know if those two survive. Their leash becomes much tighter if they don't draft an offensive player in the first round. They have to hit later in the draft with somebody on offense if they decide to go defense in the first round, because their leash is already short. And you go defense in the first round with an offense that was painful to watch last season.
Oh, man.
It was horrific.
Abysmal comes to mind as well.
I'd rather jack off an alligator in a phone book. Phone booth. I screwed that up. But
I know.
I would rather sandpaper my own asshole than watch that offense.
I grit.
Yeah. I don't know how they rate sandpaper, but coarse. Coarse.
It's grit.
Yeah.
So what if the Bears don't draft an offensive player in the first round? Side note. It means that there weren't any offensive players that fell. It means Elijah Vera Tucker didn't fall. It means Christian Darrisaw didn't fall. It means Jalen Waddle didn't make it that far, which I don't expect any of those guys to be there.
No, not at
You're left with reaching for Tevin Jenkins, maybe even Jalen Mayfield for receivers. Some people don't consider these reaches, but I think in terms of value, not my personal opinion about the players. I love Rashad Bateman. I like Kadarius Toney. Those guys will probably be there.
Toney will be there. Bateman may not, but he should be there at 20.
Yeah.
I'm fine with
I think
them.
It means no one fell.
I'm fine with them taking a Bateman at 20.
Yeah, I think he's going to be a good player. It gets nitpicky to try to trade down for a few picks and not get the guy you want. But I do think at least where my board, where my composite board, where our composite board is with all of the top services compiling their big boards into one. Bateman is a little bit lower, but I don't see it being an issue. Tony is right there as well. And you know what really hurt them, and the fact that he's back now is kind of a slap in the face. But Kyle Long retiring and then being like, well, it was the Bears, so
I'd rather just play for somebody else. I'm just gonna go full Carson Palmer on you guys.
Yeah. All right. What if we had any idea what the Titans were doing with their first rounder? Gentlemen, I want you to think about it. They signed Bud Dupree.
Yep.
They lost Jack Conklin last year, and then Isaiah Wilson went ahead and
was terrible,
and then was no longer feasible to be kept on the team. They had to do the token cut, and now he's with the Patriots, being 1 year removed from first round pick status.
Yep.
So they're missing a right tackle. They have nothing left outside of AJ Brown. They signed Josh Reynolds. That doesn't really move the needle for me.
Mm-mm.
The defense, does Bud Dupree just make you that much better? They lost Kenny Vaccaro. They lost some in the cornerback ranks. So you think about it, where the hell do they go?
I'm thinking even receiver or maybe Morig if he's there. Safety.
Trayvon Morig would be excellent.
I think he'd be great, but do you really need to address a place where you've got Kevin Byard already? He's a fantastic safety. They just signed Bud Dupree. It was easy to say, let's go edge. Let's give him an edge.
Mm-hmm.
I have mocked them Christian Barmore and happily done that. I'm not sure that's where they're going to go now. I could see a Terrace Marshall there. I think that would be a reach for for what people think, but I think that kid is special.
I agree. I do think that he's a special player. This one just stumped me. Of all 32 first-round picks, this one was the biggest question mark. I kept coming to it, and it seemed to me like all of their needs there were so many that were about on the same level.
Yeah, I agree, and that provides so much intrigue. They're at what, 22? Colts 21, Titans 22.
Yeah.
There's so much intrigue in the 20s right now with the draft, with the Colts at 21, Titans 22, the Saints at, I believe, 26. I think the Saints
right around there. Yeah, you've got the Steelers. What the hell
Steelers
do they
at
do?
23 or 24. The Browns
Saints
and
28.
28.
Saints at 28. Yeah. I mean, that is, could they be reaching for a cornerback there? But these guys, like I think that the Colts are going to take an edge rusher because I think either Phillips, Rousseau, or both are going to be there. I think Ojulari could be there. I think the Colts take an edge rusher because Justin Houston is gonzers.
I think
they re-signed Xavier Rhodes.
I think Jalen Phillips is going to go pretty high.
Yeah, after Pro Day, I think his stock is up even a little more.
I think he's going to go pretty high.
Yeah, our composite draft board will be updated, and we could definitely see him rise. But Rousseau is falling. And I think there will be an edge rusher there for the Colts to take. That one didn't bug me. The Bears, I was like, offensive player, obviously.
Yeah.
But you got to the Titans, it's just I could, like you said, I could absolutely see Christian Barmore going there, maybe reinforcing the edge even more.
Sure.
If J.C. Horn is there, which I doubt.
No way.
Pick
Greg
up
Newsome could be there.
Greg Newsome, I should be there.
Caleb
Farley, yeah, we're going to see him fall a little more. Caleb Farley could be there. It's just you look at the Raiders, offensive line, defense. If an amazing receiver is there, great, get it. But the value and what's left over just makes this pick, this seemingly pretty benign pick, honestly one of the most interesting to me.
Yeah.
Okay. What if my roommate didn't get his quarterly workouts in? He works out once every business quarter.
Yeah.
Just to keep in the exact type of shape that he needs to be in to be a meat cutter.
Yeah. He is all that is man.
Mm-hmm.
Peak athletic form.
Look at those buys. They might be hidden by the jersey, but they're there.
You put his body next to the number 3 overall pick in this year's draft. Exactly.
It's the same guy. Yeah, I actually participated in one of those quarterly workouts this time last year. AJ, you remember that?
I do. I very much do.
That was rather enjoyable.
Yeah, he goes hard for a few minutes, and then he goes soft, and then he goes hard again, and then soft again.
They make
he was getting pretty mean at a point. Yeah. I've heard.
All right, so this one I find extremely interesting. I think the whole football world finds this interesting. What if Aaron Rodgers doesn't get his coveted wide receiver in the first round this year? We have actually discussed the fact that this could be a catalyst for the whole thing blowing up in Green Bay.
Yeah. He's going to go be the permanent host of Jeopardy.
Yes.
Permanent.
Mm-hmm.
He's on a 2-week stretch right now of guest hosting.
Yeah.
Oh, my gosh.
Yeah, turn your Jeopardies on, bud.
Yeah. He's feeling it, man.
I think I think a way to sort of toe the line would be to grab an offensive tackle, Jalen Mayfield, Tevin Jenkins. If you're feeling squirrely, maybe
I'm not sure Jenkins is going to be
pick up
there.
Liam Eichenberg. Yeah, Jenkins might not fall there. Mayfield sounds pretty good. I think the Chiefs have a chance of trading up to make sure they get theirs, but that would be the only other way to potentially just prolong his tolerance of that front office conduct.
Yeah.
Yeah.
What receiver? I was about to say it will matter who's there. If it's if we've gotten down to the Rondale Moores of the world, do we believe he's a first-round pick with his injury history?
I think his talent level is there, but I mean, we talk generally more about need and value, but I personally think that what he did, I'll never forget what he did to Ohio State. That
it was amazing.
That dark and rainy night.
It was amazing.
What receiver would you like to see go most likely? I mean, what if Terrace Marshall went there?
I think Terrace Marshall fits everywhere, I think.
I say jump on. Yeah. If Terrace Marshall's available where they're picking at 29, take him.
Yeah. Yeah.
Maybe having a smaller guy to go along with Devontae Adams, but then you run the risk.
That's what I was thinking.
Well, you run the risk of injury with smaller guys, especially with Rondale Moore's size and, like Ryan said, his injury history.
Yeah.
He could throw a giant fit if this doesn't go his way.
Yes, he could. And deserved fit.
What if Kyle Falco Trask or another QB sneaks into the first round? Just sneaks right in there.
I think this is where we bring in one of your infamous bets here, AJ. Yeah. Along the lines of the maple syrups.
Okay.
I think this is where we go with that.
Color me intrigued.
Yeah. What do you say we do if are we saying you said Kyle Trask or another QB in the first round? Who would it be?
So Davis Mills is starting to get a fair amount of hype. I don't think
I've heard that as
much
well.
Hype. Kellen Mond got a lot of hype. Is starting to get a lot of hype because of his athletic abilities.
Sure.
That would blow my mind. Kyle
Me too.
Trask, Davis Mills, and Kellen Mond seem to be I really think that this is Kyle Trask, Kyle Falco or bust. So we say Falco because if Kyle Trask doesn't play in his bowl game,
he is a shoo-in.
He is a first round draft pick.
Agreed. 3 picks in the first quarter against a tragically bad Oklahoma Sooners secondary. You are going to plummet on the draft board.
The only team I can see making sense would be Chicago.
Yeah.
To reach to get Falco.
Yeah.
Oh, I see. I could see the Buccaneers drafting their future replacement. I could see the New Orleans Saints just dumping the duo of Hill and Winston in favor of, or just giving both of them the middle finger, which I don't see happening. But that is a potential spot where a quarterback could be desired.
I think he scared all of them off. And then being dumb enough, not having the wherewithal in his brain to say, no, that's not very good. I should probably play another year down here in Florida and see how things go. And like announcing that he's coming out the day after the Cotton Bowl when he was horrendous. You have to question his brain.
Also, Kyle Falco, because Shane Falco, his draft status plummeted when he also got destroyed in the Cotton Bowl.
Tit for tat.
Tits.
I don't know. I that is such a far-fetched what if that I'm not sure my brain can understand it.
Well, we'll come up with a bet and we'll
stay tuned.
Stay tuned. What if the Rams and Texans didn't hate first-round picks?
The Rams would be building something. The Texans would still stink.
Yes, they would.
The Texans are at a loss because Laramie Tunsil and his gas mask weed smoking ass was just so intriguing and so desirable that they traded basically what amounts to in baseball their entire farm system.
Yep.
To get his services. And then the Rams,
the Rams have done well without first-round picks. They have gotten production out of throwing their first-round picks out the door. So the way the Rams did it has worked so far. They have a very small window, a very small and finite window for it to work. But they are in a win now mode. The Texans were never even close to a win now mode, and it just didn't make sense why they did it.
Yeah, I agree with that. To me, every time I look at the depth chart or the roster for the LA Rams, it's like looking at the Bears defense where it's like, oh man, you just pull one of these dominoes out and you pull one of these cards and
house comes
down it goes.
Yep.
You remove Khalil Mack or you remove Eddie Jackson, Roquan Smith. Danny Trevathan is also a fantastic player, but you remove one of those pieces and it's curtains. And for them, it's the offensive line.
Yeah.
It's the offensive line and it's Aaron Donald.
Yep.
I mean, they haven't made a major investment in the offensive line in a while.
Right.
Okay, gentlemen, what if my roommate didn't tuck himself into his bed like a Jewish burrito at night?
He'd be colder than he is. I have snuggled up next to that Jewish burrito. And it is warm.
his sheets are taut. If you flick them, it's like strumming a guitar.
It's a beautiful thing. It truly is. I mean, it's I don't know how he gets his hands down far enough to tuck his feet in and then work his way up his body. It's really impressive.
Like a little mummy.
It. Yeah. If I didn't have to, contend with 2 dogs, then I might have to adapt that as my own.
Yeah.
It's remarkable. I don't know how he gets in there.
I wonder if he has just like a pre-built little shell that he just
that's what I'm thinking, but it's the slithering part. First of all, that's I'm not a huge fan of that word in this context.
It's a gross word.
In this context, yes.
Gentlemen, our special guest, my roommate, Evan Carmison.
He's here.
Bud?
We're a camera on podcast here, Evan.
Welcome to the Shall We Football podcast.
Jesus. Oh, God.
Hey, there he is. Welcome.
Hey, buddy. Do you know what we're doing here now?
I don't. Making fun of me as far as I know.
No, we're celebrating your grasp of the English language and the joys of hearing you speak it.
Okay.
So it is pronunciation time.
It is.
Before we begin,
also,
I need to
words Evan can't say.
Before we begin, I do have to say, you guys have been talking about Ryan Fitzpatrick. He went to
Yes,
Harvard.
we have.
It's
a little known fact.
He went to Harvard, not Harvard. Harvard.
I don't know what a Harvard is.
That's how you pronounce the school, Harvard.
A Harvard.
You have something stuck in your throat?
A Harvard
like that, yes.
are them little creatures from Lord of the Rings.
Oh, yeah.
All right.
Evan, up first, as with all of our guests, is that name.
That's easy. That's DJ Uiagalelei.
One more time.
DJ Uiagalelei.
Yep. Nailed it.
Good enough for me.
Yeah.
DJ Uiagalelei.
All right.
How about this then?
I've been listening to the podcast the last few weeks, so.
He knows this one.
Owusu Koromoa.
You have to say the whole thing.
Jeremiah Owusu Koromoa.
Nailed it.
So we started with DJ Uiagalelei, and that is Clemson quarterback, future #1 overall pick, Jeremiah Owusu Koromoa, Notre Dame linebacker, very probable first-round pick. Evan, say this one.
Oh.
Gulp.
Yeah. Yannick is easy.
Say that again?
Yannick.
That's the easy part. Yannick.
Yeah, almost.
Come on, bud.
No.
Yeah, no, you agreed to this.
I can't pronounce it.
Well, I'm gonna
give us your best guess.
Just give it your best.
Gakoe. Ngakoe.
Not that bad.
That's actually not that bad.
Yeah.
Ngakwe.
That is Yannick Ngakoue, defensive end and third down only player for the Las Vegas Raiders. Don't ask for photos or rundowns. He doesn't do those.
Mm-mm.
Okay, Ev.
Oh God.
What noise just came out of your face?
Okay, so yeah.
He sprung a leak.
We have Oshane.
Uh-huh.
Yes.
What
is with the pausing here? Say again.
I'm trying to get the sounds out.
There's no pausing. Say it.
Oshane Ximines.
Full disclosure, I don't know how to say this one.
Oshane Ximines.
Okay.
Oshane Ximines.
That was a tough one.
Yes.
I had to look that one up, Ev.
Okay, bud, here you go.
Noah Igbinoweni. Igbinoweni.
Not bad.
Hey.
Noah Igbenogany.
Okay, Igbenomini.
Yeah.
That is not what I said. Noah Igbenogany.
Igbenogany.
You know what? I think that's as good as we're gonna get.
Yep. Big Benogany.
Next,
This one's
You
fun.
should know this
Evan.
one.
Yeah, you should know this one, my friend. There's a pause. He doesn't know this one.
No.
Gunnar Olszynski.
There's not an N in there.
Olszewski?
This is your fellow Patriot.
Yeah. Kickoff and punt return specialist. Gunnar
Troy Brown.
Olszewski. Gunnar Olszewski.
Gunnar O'Shit. Really? That's how he spells it?
Gunnar Olszewski. What?
Gunnar, oh shit!
Oshevsky.
Love it.
That's what old defensive coordinators are saying. It's Gunnar
Oh
Olszewski.
shit!
Oh, man.
There you go, young man.
Dion Taki.
Nailed it.
Perfect, yeah.
Say it again, Evan.
Dion? Sione?
Sione.
Sione Taki.
Tacky.
Boom.
Is it Taki or Taki?
Taki like tacos.
Okay. Or like the song, Taki. I know that.
Sure. That was fine.
Bobby Okereke.
Yep.
Oh, yeah.
Well done. That was
Nailed it.
quick. That was quick. To the point.
Mm-hmm.
All right, bud. This one we were generous, and we only put one of his 18 first names.
Oh, this is okay. Kaimi Fairbairn.
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 Yep, he got it. Well done.
His God-given Christian Hawaiian name
Okay.
has about 42 letters in it.
Wow.
I would love to see one of you guys do that.
The priest is still finishing his name from his baptism. Let's put it that way.
Hold on.
They're still
Evan,
writing it out. They're finishing writing out his birth certificate today.
I will give it a go just for you, Evan. His name is John Christian Kaimi Noeauloa Meka Ikio Keku Mupua.
Fairbairn.
Holy shit.
Fairbairn.
Yeah.
John
Yeah,
Fairbairn.
Kaimi sounds a little easier.
Yeah.
I like it. It sounds cool. Kaimi.
I don't know if you can see the length of this Wikipedia because the light's going to mess it up. But go to his
I will look it
Wikipedia
up later.
page.
Please stop shining that light in our eyes.
It's overwhelming.
All right, Evan. Last one.
Ivan Ty Neewener.
Say it fast, please.
No. No.
Say it fast.
No.
Say it.
I refuse to.
He's
Say
a great Eastern
I know. I
European
did it in my head. I am not going to say that because that is.
Say it.
Great Eastern European philosopher, Sir Ivan Ty Neewener.
Oh boy.
Little bonus question, Ev. Can you spell the word enthusiastic for us?
No. I tried earlier. It did not
that
go
is a
so
very
well.
honest answer. That is a very honest answer.
Yeah.
Now Google.
Evan, we're going to close the podcast, so I respectfully shut the hell up.
Evan, thank you so much for joining us. You've been a great sport, as always. We love you dearly. We can't wait to see you again on the Shall We Football podcast. You can find and subscribe to this Shall We Football podcast on any major podcast platform, Apple, Spotify, Google. Every episode of the Shall We Football podcast also available in video format on YouTube along other content. So subscribe, follow us on Twitter at SWF_podcast. That is SWF_podcast. Thank you, gentlemen, and good night.